going to move on to Isha. Isha is from Amazon. She's an applied scientist at Amazon AGI and previously was lead scientist on AI financial models at Capital One. She's going to talk about autonomous agents and the future of personalization. Take it away, Isha.
Hi everyone. Actually, I was just trying to figure out on here how to share my screen. Actually,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I
Look,
think I don't. It
look
seems I
for
don't
the
see.
green up arrow at the bottom or top of your Zoom
Yeah,
screen.
sorry, figured out.
Yeah, it's fine.
Um, Hello everyone. My name is Isha. I actually just started working at Amazon. Previously, I was working in a startup called Articulate, and I've been working on a couple of fine-tuning stuff. And Articulate has been involved with Google on a lot of the A2A agent-to-agent thing. Today, I'll be talking about autonomous agents and the future of personalization. So, what is autonomous agents? Autonomous agents are basically these AI systems that are, making decisions on our behalf and taking actions without human interventions. They are goal-driven, adaptive, and they are capable of learning from the environment. And there are different types of these autonomous agents. Here, I kind of listed down by three different types. So one is like by function. So these are like task-oriented agents, which are performing actions like scheduling, booking, shopping, etc. Then there are like learning-based agents, actually, which are improving basically through the feedback and, for example, using reinforcement learning. And then there are other types. One is like reactive, which are basically very quick responsive in the sense that they are immediately reacting to immediate changes without much of internal memory or planning. And then they are like planning based, which are specifically on strategic planning. So they are very deliberate. They are, let's say, they're used in like logistics, simulation, multi-step automation kind of thing, and they plan actions. The other type is by environment. One of them is like autonomous software agents, and I think we have started to see more of them, which are basically in digital ecosystems, chatbots, trading bots. And then there are physical agents like robots and devices. The one which are becoming more famous nowadays is multi-agent systems, which are involving these whole swarm coordination, distributed decisions, etc. Then the third one that I listed out is by autonomy levels. Some are like semi-autonomous. These are human-assisted decision making, and we see more of them in the market currently. The other one is fully autonomous, and they are doing like this whole end-to-end decision and actions, for example, self-driving. And then there are adaptive agents, which are self-improving over time based on some of the reinforcement learning methods, deep learning methods, etc. Now, we have certain level of personalization today, and there's an anticipation of where personalization will go forward tomorrow. Right now, the personalization that we have is quite reactive based approach. A lot of the systems are still rule based. They are heavily based on past behavior, customer interactions. For example, like e-commerce, we are still basically doing the product recommendation based on what you have already viewed or purchased. Streaming services are based on what you have watched. Marketing emails based on maybe what you have probably signed up for before. So users are still driving a lot of these processes. The experiences are still quite siloed across platforms. For example, that I just said, like it's you watch this, so let's try this. That's the approach right now. Tomorrow, we would probably see more of proactive and more autonomous ones, more context aware in real time, where agents are active on users' behalf, and there's more effort towards having cross-platform personalizations. For example, it's more of like, okay, you've got 10 minutes, here's the perfect fit. So that's more of a reactive, less of a reactive approach, more of a proactive approach. So we are going toward from suggestions to more solutions, from static to more deeply personal. And there's a rise of these personal agents. We are already seeing quite a bit efforts towards having automating the workflows, emails, scheduling reminders. There's a lot of web agents that are in efforts right now. Other ones are like synthesize your data across the tools, learning your habits, preferences, taking some autonomous actions based on interest. We are seeing some of these AI agents that are coming up in the market. The future would be more of a digital companionship, which is interfacing across all your apps, devices, services, filtering down the digital noise, surfacing key information, and more of an organizing task, handling negotiations, executive actions, and retaining the context and the memory and like the future needs. One of the examples that I see more upcoming is of enterprise personalizations, where you're not just personalizing then just the user experience, but the entire customer journeys. So in this case, let's say the AI sales agents that are personalizing the outreach by learning prospective behavior, timing, and tone. Customer support bots, and we are seeing a rise of these quite a bit lately. That are, could handle issues end to end, reducing the ticket volumes and escalating only when needed. Marketing agents are running continuous A/B testing and adapted in real time. So how does this all is working? It's a mixture of intelligence, autonomy, and context. Uh, First, the foremost is the foundation models, which are, we are seeing a lot of them, LLMs, multi-models, general purpose AI. These are the ones helping in building the understanding, generation, core intelligence. And these are including these days language, images, audio, and videos, etc. The other, which is very key important, is the reinforcement learning, which is enabling all these goal-driven intelligence agents, which are learning adaptive, optimal actions through feedback and interactions. And the third one, which is coming up more and more, especially with some of the new protocols like MCP or A2A, is through APIs and integrations, where you're connecting agents to your calendar, CRMs, tools, devices, and you're allowing the real world execution of tasks and not just suggestions. And lastly is the personal data ecosystems, where agents are learning from your preferences, history, and context, which is the one which is powering hyper deep personalization over time. And this one is actually needs more care. It required strong privacy and strong user control. And together of it is actually what's powering personalization and will power in the future as well. But this comes with some risk and safeguards that we need to be aware of in autonomous agents, because they can fail badly when the actions are not aligning with human intent. So we need them to be controlled, interpretable, and ethically guided. One of the biggest issues is like misaligned objectives, when agents do exactly what you said, not what you meant. They may optimize for flawed or narrow goals. They may have lack of nuance in human intent, unintended behavior, overemphasize on metrics like click, speed, and these can all backfire. Other is like overconfidence and hallucination, which we are already seeing currently in language agents. Poor context awareness, like bad timing, irrelevant actions. And the privacy breaches is actually the most important one, especially because if the personal data is not well guarded. And we can have systemic errors in like integrated environments, wrong bookings, redundant tasks. So for that, we need like some safeguard methods, specifically with clear goals. And here, reward alignment plays a very big role. Human in the loop checks, specifically in the finance industry and any of these industry which require extra privacy care, definitely needs more human in the loop checks. Using more real time contextual signals, securing personal data and consent based, and specifically like implementing user control and rollback, because if there's an case of a breach or overreach, we need these systems to be very reactive, in the sense we quickly have a user roll back and control, and we prevent from any of the breaches and any of the harmfulness to happen. So yeah, that's what basically I wanted to talk today. Thank you for joining the presentation. Thank you.
Isha, I have a few questions for you. One of them is super high level. So what here in the ecosystem is there's kind of two schools of thoughts. One of them will say one model will do everything. Eventually, the model will become so smart it will be able to do everything. And if you extrapolate that, you say, well, one model, one agent will do everything. And then there's another school of thought, which you can probably know which one I'm leaning on, which says, no, 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 we're going to have agents collaborating together. It represents, I mean, it's more deterministic. It represents what's been in the past, how teams are organized, and so on to achieve a greater goal. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, these are my personal opinions. I would see more of a collaborative agents rather than like one size fits all. In fact, there's a lot of these domain specific models that are also rising in the market, and this could also reflect in the domain specific agents as well. Specifically in my previous company, there was a heavy focus on having models for very specific use cases, and these are all domain specific, not like one size fits all kind of a purpose. So I see that's where things would be going, where agents are specific, they're collaborating with each other. I see more of a system where there's like a high level agent which actually knows more of a foundation information, which is the one that says controlling, similar like an orchestrator, controlling like smaller agents which are more specific, more domain based, and these agents are collaborating, talking to each other, and also talking with the let's say these agent controller. So I see more of that system, more of an harmony of a collaboration between agents, and they could be like one big agent trying to talk between these smaller agents and controlling them instead of like one size fits all kind of thing. Those are my personal opinions. Yeah.
Sure. Another question for you, and this was brought up by Lewis on the previous talk, which was, and I've faced this myself. This is why I'm asking this question, which is as we deploy AI agents in production, there's always this need to be somewhat deterministic. Like the solution needs to be predictable in some aspect. Not every step, but at some steps you gotta just ground it to something deterministic. Do you see any new approaches that are coming up to solve for that Uber need?
Yeah, I think it depends on industry to industry. Some industry might need more deterministic mix of approaches, predictable as well as deterministic. Some industry might be okay just relying them more towards predictions. Groundedness is actually a very important area currently of research, whether it's visual grounding or text grounding, agent grounding. So I would definitely see more of the research in that area. And regarding it really depends on the industry. And like some places, you need those systems to be very deterministic in the sense, uh, there's a very less room to make errors, but there's some systems which you can mix and still have predictions. So they could together coexist to minimize the error. Groundedness depends on like first of all what you're defining and the use case and everything, but I see more of that use case, more of that research going forward, like how to ground these agents. So yeah, definitely, um, that would be a very important field. Yeah.